what's going on? This is Jordan Wagner with PremierGuitar.com, and I'm here to tell you today about the new Way Huge Aqua-Puss analog delay. Now, this is a pedal that is pretty famous as far as the recent boutique pedal boom scene goes. It was originally offered by Way Huge several years ago before the original company folded. I actually owned an original, and I at one point needed to get a new car, and I was able to sell it for that much to put a down payment on a car. That's how much they were in demand afterwards. If you can find one today, it's usually going to command a very high price. Lots of famous players have used them, including John Mayer, who actually is using one of the new reissue pedals today. So the Aqua-Puss has 300 milliseconds of straight analog delay. And the difference between this reissue and, say, the Swollen Pickle reissue is this is supposedly a complete true-to-form reissue. There's no internal trim pots that weren't there before. There's no added features. It's just straight-up 300 milliseconds. And it was a pedal that George described to us at an issue back that he had no interest of reissuing himself, but if the demand was high enough, then he would eventually do it. And thus the pedal is here. So today I'm going to demo the Aqua-Puss with a Duesenberg Mike Campbell signature. And it's going to be running through a vintage mid-70s orange overdrive 120 with the original 8x10 guitar cab. And it sounds fantastic. The pedal right now is set for, I believe, probably around 250 milliseconds. Small amount of repeats and a little bit over 50% blend. Now, one of the things about the Aqua-Puss is on the higher delay times, there is a clock noise. And what that means is the higher you, I'd say right around when you get to the 250 millisecond range, there's a slight whine over the delay signal. Now, I originally thought that this was a downside to it. I used to own an old Ibanez 89 analog delay that did the same thing. And it turns out the trim pots inside that held the delay time at a certain place were starting to drift, so I took a little screwdriver and pulled them back, and that fixed it. And when I spoke to George, he mentioned that it's actually something that old analog delays are supposed to, well, not originally intended to do, but do in fact have happened to them. Like older memory mans and things of that nature, old solid state analog delay devices. So he purposefully put that in there. To kind of have that vintage edge to it, that whine to it over the delay signal. And one of the cool things about having an analog delay is it can also be used as a tonal tool to kind of fatten up your chords and fatten up riffing. So what I've done here is I've set the delay time to be lower than before, around I'd say the 100 millisecond range. My repeats are almost at 3/4 and the blend is almost all the way up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back and forth to kind of let you hear the difference between the two and play the same thing both times. And this is with it. With the delay on there, it helps fill out the sound a lot more, and especially if you're using it in a live band situation, you won't be able to hear the little repeats in the background as well, so it'll just sound like the sound is much thicker. So one of the things that a lot of people buy analog delays for is their self-oscillation ability, and it's when the pedal basically overloads on itself and you get these really cool like space-age ray gun tones. Now normally what you can do is you can crank up the repeats, which in this case is feedback, and the delay time can be set pretty much anywhere normally. I usually set mine really high, so when I bring down the delay time, the pitch goes up. And I usually set the blend rather high. So there you have it. That's new Way Huge Aqua-Puss analog delay. You can check out my full review in the May issue of Premier Guitar, or you can find it for free at premierguitar.com.